Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today's video is a plan with me for the week of November 4th through November 10th using this oldie, this old miss+meow kit called Autumn Velvet, foiled in silver. And I'm pulling in elements from Saucy Stickers. Oh gosh, what is the name of that kit? Wildflower. Um, and the reason, so let me back up a second. November is the month of autumn named kit. So Autumn Velvet is the first one, and I decided to use this kit this week because my mom's birthday is this week. Her birthday is November 7th. She's a classy lady. This kit gave me classy vibes. I don't know. I also really love the the dark blue and the deep, like, the purples that went with this kit. It was a very unconventional color palette for autumn, and I wanted to use it just cuz, right? We use what we want to use, and I want to use up stuff in my collection so I don't run into the problem of next year some gorgeous kits coming out and I feel guilty about not using the stuff I already have. So we're not going to push things down the line so we can use the pretty stuff now. Now we're going to make sure that we leave room for the pretty stuff for next year. And not that this isn't pretty. Let me rephrase that. This is really pretty. But I don't want to have to make a decision next year on whether I want to use something from the current times or something that's already in my stash. And like I said, this kit's, like, the colors are stunning. I really personally love this color palette. I am a sucker for deep, dark fall colors. The jewel tones just gets me every time. It really does. So, I kept it somewhat simple, but the problem is, if you look at the length of this video, it's kind of short compared to to what I normally do, and that's because I lost the full boxes lay down. So you'll see the washi go down, you'll see the sidebar. I did have a little bit of trouble with the sidebar, um, but if you remember in the last video, it's because I sort of planned things, but not completely. Um, so I lost the laying down of the full boxes. I guess I deleted that footage before it got uploaded. And what's really funny is I was deleting a bunch of stuff off of my phone, getting it out of the trash. And after I deleted everything, I was like, oh, I guess I should have checked to make sure that everything for Autumn Velvet was already uploaded before I emptied my trash can. Because once you empty your trash can, you can't get it back. Wish I had that thought before I did it, but we move on, right? I will put pictures up of what the base looks like, at least, so you get an idea of what it looked like. I mean, you'll see it through the day by day, but to get a better idea of what it looked like, the pictures will be better. So I pulled in this kit from, this is a journaling kit from Saucy Stickers called Wildflower, I believe it was called, because the florals were very similar. I have no idea. I think they're the same. They might not be. They may be. I don't know. But the color palette was very similar, so I decided to do that. And like I said, since I didn't have an idea for my sidebar, I decided to pull in these fashion girls from Starlight Paper Studio. This was from her Microcosmos release. However, she just reopened, has a ready to ship shop, and I know she's revamping a lot of her products. So I don't know what the state of, like, the fashion dolls and, like, the foils and whatnot are going to look like, but hopefully she's got some sort of fashion dolls, because I feel like her fashion dolls are very unique. Um, they're very different. And again, I vibe with Starlight Paper Studio so much. Like, I love her shop. I will never not miss an opportunity to talk about Sita shop. So, um, if you're into K-pop, if you're into celestial, if you're into kind of a more, I wouldn't call it anime, but a more that kind of anime vibe, she's the shop for you. So for the sidebar, I decided to use the girls at the bottom. I pulled the cell phone in from CD Stickers. They are currently not in the Sadie Stickers shop, but I'm sure if you make a loud enough noise, Alicia might bring it back. So keep being loud about it. Squeaky wheel gets the oil, so keep squeaking the wheel is what I'll say. Um, and then I pulled in the fall wraps. I think that's what they're called. And you know what's really funny is I figured out how to use them. Like I've been using them, but not to their fullest potential until like the second half of the spread. And you'll see what I mean because it's after a certain point, it it clicks how you're supposed to use these. Um, and that's that part. Yep, I'm gonna pull this. It's gonna kill me because I love the color of this ink. I'm gonna pull this up because I wanted to put the other part of the full box there. And sadly, I was not able to salvage it, but that is okay. We learn from our mistakes, right? Just because I don't know, I used it at one part. I feel like I needed to bring some of the pink up the sidebar a little bit, so that's why I put that there. Sprinkle some foil around. Those were the like leaf wall brick thingies from Sadie Stickers. Again, quite a fan of these. Um, and then since Wildflower had kind of like the butterfly motif moving through it, I pulled in some butterflies from Saucy Stickers. She has like I think it's called vintage butterflies. I decided to pull those into. So for my date covers, since I'm not fan of the old blocky style, they're very chunky. I'm not really a fan of the chunky. Um, I decided to pull in the full florals, use my foiled scripts, you know, use what you have, guys. And then I pulled in this lace garland combo, I believe that's what it's called, because the kit kind of gives like a sophisticated vibe. So the lace also gave me the sophisticated vibe. So therefore I pulled it in. And of course, we can never have enough like fall leaf deco through the kits. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to quickly talk through my full boxes. So I purchased, which I think this was from the Autumn Whispers collection, the foiled sampler for Autumn Whispers from Dash of Sun. She had these washi strips that I wanted to use, but not in the washi, but in kind of the up like to kind of bisect the boxes or on top of the boxes, full boxes. um I did do tilted boxes, and brain. uh I I guess you're gonna have to see because I honestly don't remember what I did, to be completely on purpose. To be completely honest with you, I lost how to talk right there for a second. um but I just remember using, to create a line through the spread, which I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest with you, was to use those washies from a foiled sampler across the spread, and on top of the full boxes rather than truncating them at the full boxes, which I typically do. I wanted to try something different, challenge myself a little bit. Excuse me. And then I'm just really sad that I lost it because it was an interesting base laydown. Personally, it was a very long base laydown because I was trying. There's the sampler, you could see it in the corner there. Um, it was it challenged me in a way, so I felt like it took forever to lay down. So I'm kind of really sad that it's gone. I'm gonna insert a clip of what it looks like as a whole. I'll overlay the pictures, so you could see that. But you could see the two washi lane things there. So on to the day by day. It's a Monday. As always, we start with a coffee Monday. The journaling kit came up with this cute little, I think it's teacup technically, but we're gonna pretend it's a coffee cup. Okay, cool, cool. We're gonna pretend it's a coffee cup. And then so we start with coffee Monday. Sorry, brain just stopped for a second. Then I had the worst AM commute. I think was this the day with the fire. So I was driving down the road, all of a sudden a ton of cars are turning left. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. We don't normally turn left here. So as I approach the area, construction sign goes up, says road closure. I'm like, really? Because the problem is for my commute into Philly, there's only like a few main thoroughfares. So you knock one down, all of the other ones have to go somewhere. So there's a lot of side roads, but the side roads get congested super quick. So my like 40-minute commute turned into like an hour and a half. And that's just to the parking garage. Then I still had to get to work physically. It was such a pain. There was a car fire. That's all I really remember about it. It was so annoying. I called my husband. I was like, if you're heading in this direction, don't go this way. Um, so now I've talked through the entirety of Monday and into Tuesday. But then on Monday night, I filmed and did a voiceover. On the 5th, it was election day. We take a moment of silence. And then my July 2023 mystery, that's the one with the waterfall, that went live. And then we finished the night with some Chinese food. I love a good Chinese food. Um, then on Wednesday, the 6th, yeah, we're not going to talk about the election results. We're going to just let that go. Then I started the day with a Dr. Coffee run. We had I was involved in training our kind of operation, well, not kind of, they are our operations department. They're kind of like our equipment managers. Um so in order for them to be able to service the equipment, they need to know how to use the equipment. So I was just along for the ride for their centrifuge training, because they don't use the equipment on a day-to-day basis like we do. They're a little less familiar with it, so their ops supervisor was the one who did the actual training. I was just there to ensure that the training went correctly because I'm the one who is more intimately familiar with the piece of equipment. Made sense to do it that way. Um, it's just, yeah, we're not going to start on that. We're not going to start on that a whole other tangent. So, um, since there is the sweater with the full box, right? The sweater with the full box with the sweater right there. I figured I might as well pull some quotes in because I bought the quotes from the Pretty Pink Co. We're going to use the quotes, so I pulled in the quote that says "sweater weather." Cute, thank you. um, and then I did some editing that night. I did editing that night. Good on me. Um, so this is since this kit is in a very different format, I try to if you know one thing about my planning style, I like to fill up the space where I can, right? I wouldn't call myself a no white space planner, but I feel like if you go down a column, you should be able to touch a sticker. There shouldn't be a huge gap between the stickers. So this kit is an older format. They don't have a lot of like circular boxes or swatches or shorter boxes. So it was kind of a different experience to use because I reach for certain things to fill the space and I don't have them. Um so that's why we don't hoard older kits, guys. Don't hoard them. Use them or give them to somebody who likes the format of the older kits. On Thursday was my mom's birthday. She is the young age of 53. She's 20 years older than me. I love my mom. Love you, mom. Don't mean to blast your age on the internet, but she don't look 53. I'll pop a picture of her and I here. She don't look 53. She looks like she could be my sister. Um, It was my mom's birthday. We did a paperwork day, and then this third thing I'd like to keep to myself. On Friday, I had a butter cookie latte. Was that from Dunkin'? It was most likely from Dunkin', to be honest with you, or Dr. Coffee. Probably Dunkin'. Um, Bub went to the park with the babysitter, and we ended the night with Korean beef. Korean beef is not actually Korean, it's just the recipe name. It's just brown sugar and sesame oil. And the person who made the recipe just called it Korean beef. So when I call Korean beef, it's not actually like a Korean recipe. That's just the name of the recipe. Um, Saturday we did a Costco trip. We finally got our Costco memberships. Dude, Costco's nuts. Costco crazy. If the prices weren't so good, I don't know how often we'd go back to Costco. So to fill in the awkward gap with the that was left by this tilted box, and I'd realized I had not done my little like lace lace header frame in a little while. I decided to frame this box with the lace headers. And it was Christine who said something in one of her planned with me's about like the box liners, about cutting it at a 45. And I was like, why haven't I been doing this? It's so smart. Like it looks much cleaner this way. So thanks Christine for that tip. Cuz I will use that from now on. Um yes, we did a PM Dunkin' run because Costco exhausted us that much. We watched Over the Garden Wall. It was a little late this year, but we did get to our Over the Garden Wall watch. Over the Garden Wall watch, and then we struggled at bedtime. We've been struggling. It's the 2 year sleep regression, guys. We're in the thick of it. Sunday, we started the day with a grocery run. Then we went up to my parents' place. It was so dry here that the artificial lake up in their area had dried out, and we were able to walk on it. Moment in history. Is kind of nuts to be able to walk on it, because from the road you can see the lake, and it was an out of body experience to not see the lake. Then we watched Top Gun Maverick while eating McDonald's that night. So that is the spread. Here are the kit leftovers. Yeah, there we go. And then we will hit the flyover. I'm so sorry I lost the boxes laid down. I'm kicking myself for it too. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a like. Leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below. And I would be so happy if you joined my little channel here by subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.